Boom. Good
Um,
morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Good
How's
morning.
everyone doing today? There it is. We got
Very good.
we got a great show for you guys today. We got musical artist and producer FIFI Wrong. FIFI, welcome. We also have
Hello, hello.
Hey,
we,
Yeah, there's quite a few of us, so I don't know when. Yeah, thank you for having me.
yeah, absolutely. And with Fifi there, we have musical artist, composer, co-founder, man of many trades. Nifty Music, that's Milo Lombardi, aka Nifty Sax. And I apologize, it's Nifty Sax. Nifty Sax, welcome. How are you today?
I'm very good. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Now you guys are out of Italy, is that right? So it's got to
Yeah,
be what? Just after 6 in the
yeah,
evening.
yeah. 6 p.m.
Yeah, excellent. Well, guys, thank you for coming in today. We the project that you guys are doing. There's been a lot of hype around it. You guys have had one heck of run with this. The music NFT drop for it was the Other Side album for that by Fifi Wrong. That was actually last Sunday. You guys have a release going on tomorrow, actually, and
Mm.
well, depending on where you are. But guys, we'll be talking about that in a little bit. As per the norm, what we're going to do is we are going to go through the Bitcoin charts, uh, get your takes on it if you have any, and then we're going to be talking a little bit about the USDC unpeg.
Mm.
Um, Bronze, how are you today? Is that news
Good.
getting you down?
Just a little bit. Of course, there's some concerns, but yeah, hopefully it'll turn back around.
Yeah.
Thanks. For Nifty, Sax, and Fifi. That's a little bright spot right there. I was in Italy right before COVID. It was early 2020 February. I
Oh, nice.
love Italy, Rome. So um, I can't wait to get to start talking about your project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, guys, what we'll do is we're just going to go ahead and get right into the chart. We'll just kind of briefly take a look at it, see what it's doing right at the very moment. So, let me pull that up here. What we have up here. Let me know that you guys can see that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
What we're looking at here is just 4 hour charts. This is what kind of downward trend that Bitcoin has kind of been following. If we kind of blow this out a little bit, bring it to a daily, we'll see that there was that downturn, and it was actually pretty mighty of a downturn ever since FTX. But
Mm.
there's been a bit of a bright spot over the past call it past month or two. You see that uptrend, and of course, seems like every time we have some kind of momentum, there's something to try to bring us down just a little bit. But Bronze, what do you think? Are we going to go ahead and continue on this downtrend, or is this USDC thing going to blow over and get us in the right direction?
The way I see it is the cause and effect with USDC going down with these couple of these banks collapsing. I mean, that's why Bitcoin was born, right? Like back in 2008 with the collapse. Um, with this little downturn, I think the there's a little bit of pump going on with Bitcoin and Ethereum coming from this. So I am. I don't want to say. I mean, I'm still positive, saying positive, but yeah, definitely this is not really a good look. But yeah, it's just all these terms of events of like the U.S. economy having the Fed rates going up, which caused these banks to collapse. And the reason why the Fed's rates was going up is to try to help fight inflation. So there's some catch-22, and this is why it's even more important to have crypto, Ethereum and Bitcoin and all these other ones. It's the hedge for, it's unsafe to really to have everything, all your money in a bank. So um, this is what it all comes down to. Bitcoin was born, and now we have NFTs and everything in the crypto technology. Yeah, because we really don't, we can't really depend on them. So yeah, this is not financial advice. This is just my opinion. And yeah, so what do you guys think? Sax, Fifi, how do you feel about all
Yeah.
this?
Well, yeah, I also I don't know too much about the market. I mean, I generally have a positive attitude towards where the market is going, because I mean, so far in the past like years, it's been an upward trend. I tend to zoom out a lot. It's yeah. So I think it requires patience. This kind of market where we're in, and I'm pretty positive. So we release our music on Ethereum in general, and also Ethereum has been pretty stable. Of course, now it's a bear market for everyone, but there are so many things built on Ethereum, and so many people also invested in Bitcoin, that I in generally am pretty safe with those two. I don't know
Mhm.
about other coins, but again, I say I'm not a big financial guy. I just make music, and but that's my feeling. What do you think, Fifi?
It's interesting because I actually, before NFT, I started day trading and drawing these charts. And, I was spending all my time. It was like my biggest passion, from 2020. I went really deep into it. So, that's the Binance chart is like very familiar to me. And also, I have a big chunk of our portfolio in USDC, unfortunately, and it's frozen right now. But having been in crypto NFT for a few years, I've learned to calm down and just have like some emotional maturity. And apparently, that's the most important thing, because when you day trade or midterm trade, like the anxiety goes up and down quite heavily. But what NFT it did for me was it helped me to zoom out. So I have like a bird's eye view. And right now during the bear market, like most of my altcoins are, in hibernation. So I just don't think about it. So
Right.
with the USDC situation, I just have to hope for the best. And with the crypto, what can you do? Like, there's no certainty anywhere, like with the fiat or with anything in the bigger economic climate right now. Where should you put your money? That
Yeah.
is a big question. So we have to just diversify.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Actually, just a few follow-ups to this. So, Milo, you had indicated that you kind of focused on Ethereum. Let me ask you, why did you not focus in on any other blockchain, whether that be Binance or Polygon or Avalanche?
Yeah, well, I do like L2s. Like I recently have been interested in Arbitrum and Optimism as well. I'm not a big fan of Polygon, but in general, the answer is that we are on Ethereum because that's where the money is. Like in the end, we make music and we want to be able to sell it. So it doesn't really make too much sense for us to sell it in a place where there's no liquidity. So we go where there's the biggest liquidity, and then if I mean I want Ethereum to do well, but if Ethereum were to go to zero, I'm not gonna go down with the ship like, oh, I believe in Ethereum. I want to make music. I that's what I do. So we're gonna keep going where the money is, where people seem to be buying music, and
Yeah.
also where it's kind of doable. Because for example, I looked into Bitcoin ordinals, but that's very it's still very early for that, and I don't know if we are ready to switch to that. I would love to hear what you guys think about the ordinals. But
Yeah.
first, Fifi,
Yeah, just to add one thing you didn't mention, actually, you already implied, is the artist community is the most mature and developed in
in Ethereum,
Ethereum
yeah.
community
Mhm.
so far. If
Yeah.
you look at Sol, I like Solana, I like Cardano, but their artist community is not quite as just developed, I would say. What Nifty said is you follow the money where the liquidity is and where the collector is. That's where the artists are. So that's where we are so far. Of course, we sometimes dabble into other like a Polygon and stuff like that. But from my experience, there hasn't been a lot of kind of like a predictability. And also with the market goes up and down, we can only right now rely on Bitcoin and the Ethereum during the bear market anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. I think Bronze and I both agree. I mean, the Ethereum market is much more mature than the rest of the chains, and if you are going to mass produce anything, or even if it's just scarcity, the Ethereum blockchain is the place to be. More than 98% of all projects are still on that chain, and it is the most common. And when you do take a look at all of the artists and all the NFTs, going all the way back, and that's where the majority of them still reside. So, I think that your thought process is very sound. I don't think that Ethereum is going to go to zero, but I think it's just too big to fail at this point, and it's an unstoppable juggernaut. And you do need that chain to kind of piggyback off of or leapfrog to the next level. But Fifi, you had said that you've been in crypto since 2020, and just to kind of keep it positive here, when you take a look at the charts and you were to kind of pivot to that 2020 spot, back in, depending on when you got in, it was still riding out around 3,800 was its low. I mean, when you take a look at even where it's at right now, that's leaps and bounds. It's almost 7x. But yeah, I think that it's important to keep that into focus. Yeah, we had one heck of a ride up, but and it was definitely a ride down. But if you kept holding and you remained positive and you didn't check the charts every minute of every day, you may still be, in a very good position. So, what? Let me ask you, Fifi, what's your trick to not? You said you focus on NFTs. It kind of allows you to step back a little bit, maybe slow down, focus on something else in the space. How did you get started doing that?
Oh, I got wrecked. Seriously, emotionally as well. So 2021 May, there was a big crash. Right. Giving you the black background, I was probably waking up 5 times a night checking the chart. Like you said, I was like very conditioned to listen to, watching experts doing charts and seeing where things are going all the time and impulsive buy and sell, that kind of stuff. So I was so into it. On the way up, that's not good, right? So as soon as you focus in micro trading, that becomes really dangerous. So when the crash happened, so everything I had became half its value. And so I was in a place where should I sell and lose that 20% and 10% so I have liquidity to catch the bottom, right? That's the ultimate dilemma for everybody. Or should I just hold to the bottom and wait for it to come up? So I was in between of, these two places. And I literally had my knee, I remember my knees were shaking. And I had this weekend of show to record. And I was out of my body. And I realized this, what it was taking from me. Like my life wasn't mine anymore. I was so caught up in this fall. It wasn't just about money. So I was seriously burned emotionally. So I kind of took a step back and thinking, I can't let this affect me in this way. So when it's almost like when your heart gets broken once, it doesn't get broken the same because it makes you stronger. So emotionally, the same thing wouldn't do the same, have the same effect on me. So I stopped doing all the charts and chasing it every day, and I started to get into the NFT community. And once I got in there and I, got some perspective, I just thought, okay, mid to long term now, especially that time I was like we were just met at that time. So my focus, my energy started to shift into NFT. And that was still the bull run. I think the community was very booming at the time. It was the beginning of music NFT community on Twitter. So that was my focus. Yeah, I think that's how I got myself pulled out from that.
Yeah, yeah, and I know Bronze and we actually work together for a healthcare company. We talk a lot about this on the downtime, and yeah, those you could usually tell when it's a bad day or a bad night because you just see in each other's faces when you're walking the door. And yeah, checking the charts multiple times a night, it's that emotional pull that it has on you. And it's one thing I feel like the community overall kind of suffers with, and but it's also one of those things that you have to live and learn and kind of get through. As you say, the heart only breaks once. Hopefully you mend and learn from that. So,
Yeah.
Bronze, what do you think? How many times did you
Yeah.
check it last night?
I checked a couple times. Yeah, when I woke up this morning, I'm like, oh, dang, it's down. But just like Fifi, I felt like I've matured, as an investor. Like, my emotions are more in check as before. And I'm thinking all these new investors, that's came in a couple of years ago. Hopefully, they all become matured as well. And yeah, it's man. When I was listening to you, Fifi, I was just getting flashbacks too, because I think a lot of us were in the same boat. And yeah, so now I kind of understand the game better. I think hopefully most people understand the game better. And yeah, and you definitely can't be really emotional about this thing. And yeah, so I think once you realize it, you see the matrix, then you can move forward and basically maneuver, right? So yeah.
Yeah. Well, good points, guys. Let's get into man, this news portion I feel it's a bit of a downer. And anyone that's watching this probably knows exactly what we're going to be talking about here. So we're talking about the depeg of USDC and, kind of a big deal over the past, call it 24 hours plus. And basically, what we have here is the DPEG overall. Now, this is for those of you who don't know, USDC is supposed to remain stable, supposed to be right around the dollar mark. So for it to drop significantly, even a cent is a lot when you're talking about a stable coin. Right now, it was, or at least when I last checked, it was running around 90 cents. I think it dipped down to about 87 cents. But what we're starting to see is that the exchanges are basically pausing, and some of us, even right now on the podcast with us, do own some of it, and it's you can't do anything with it if you do hold it right now. It's probably a good thing because if people start to panic and people start to sell, that could just make things worse, and then we're back where we were for Luna. So one of those things, Bronze. What's your thoughts on this? Is this a big deal? Do you think this is temporary?
I mean, I certainly hope it's temporary. Like you said, put the pause on. I'm looking at it right now, and it looks like it's going back up a little bit. I mean, when I first woke up, it was like 91 cents, and it's certainly going back up to 93. It's at 93 right now. And yeah, so yeah, I hope it fixes, by Monday.
Yeah.
But we'll have to
Yeah.
wait and see.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull up a chart on this. But yeah, actually, 93 cents that's good news. That's
Yeah.
great news because the direction that we were heading was definitely not what we needed. And it seems to me as though, and let me just pull this up here. Seems to me that the exchanges had the right idea by putting the pause on it, so that we didn't feel that continue downward spiral on it. Let me just see. Let me know that you guys can see this okay.
Yeah.
It's funny because when you take a look at the chart, I'm going to have to change this to hourly. you see how steady it is, right? And I'm actually going to bring this down to minutes. But you see how steady this is, and you could go way back. You just keep going way back. It's steady, and then you see this big dip, and this is really the fear. Now we'll talk to the folks who are buying this, see what the heck this little red line here is all about. But that's a correction of the chart. It did not dip down to 33 cents, folks, but you can see here this upwards swing now that's starting for a correction. So hopefully it gets pegged back to the dollar. Sax, Fifi, what are your thoughts on this? You think that this is big news? You feel like there's a correction coming? Is it going to get back to dollar? What are your thoughts?
That's hard to tell. What I saw is definitely the gas on Ethereum has spiked up quite a bit because apparently a lot of people tried to pull out fast. And I saw also some story, like for example, a person lost $2 million because they set the slippage wrong on a decentralized exchange. So they were trading 2 million USDC. They got 5 cents back.
No.
That was terrible, like one of the worst things that I've seen in a while. Yeah. So people were definitely panicking. That's the real panic story. Like when you try to do things in a rush. So if I have any advice, because as I said, I'm not an expert, it's like I would say don't panic. And if you're doing a transaction, make sure that you're paying attention and you triple check slippers and addresses and everything, because it doesn't serve you positively to panic. So I don't know. I hope it's gonna go back. I personally believe that it will. What do you think, Fifi?
I hope so, because a lot, a big proportion of my portfolio is in this. So seeing this a little bit green coming back, I'm actually feeling more relieved. But what can you do, really? By the time I discover, Nifty told me about this news, my crypto.com wallet, it was already, I was not allowed to pull anything, do anything. So I just, okay, so there's nothing I can do about it. Let's just hope for the best. That's my attitude anyway. If I lose that money and plus my heart's broken, that's just really not worth it. So, if I lose the money, I lose the money. At least I'm calm.
Yeah. No, got the right idea. You just kind of, and certainly this is one of those days where maybe it's just at this point you can't trade it. So step away from the computer, step away from the phone, put the phone down. And if you're picking up the phone, look at something else, because come Monday when the banks reopen, hopefully this thing will have corrected itself. And, we, like you say, we hope for the best. That's all we can do. So I don't want
we
to
control it anyway.
Well, that's it. That's right. So, I mean, most of this is out of our control. So it's not worth the stress, but I understand it's also hard to control that stressor at times as well.
Yeah.
But I don't want to spend too much time on this. In fact, we're going to go ahead and stop talking about it altogether. We do want to definitely talk about what's going on with your project, and but maybe we just reel it back just a little bit, because you guys have been together now for a while, both as far as creating this. But why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourselves and really kind of how you met?
Yeah. So where do we start?
Maybe you say how you came into NFT, and I'll chime in on the time I arrived, because he arrived. He's like a mentor to me. He arrived probably 6 months before me into the community, so he was the first person, one of the very first people sold our collection of music NFT, and he's an instrumentalist. So I think he can talk about that, and that's why he's got like the first mover advantage and learning all those alpha to teach us. But then I came in quite relatively soon as well. And at that time, there wasn't so much of a music community per se. We were just blending ourselves into the art community. There's not enough music people. So yeah, we can start from his history, and then I'll go.
Yeah, so for me, I came in, I started to look into NFTs at the end of 2020. There was December, and I saw some movements. I was completely removed from everything. Like I wasn't really trading. I didn't own any Bitcoin or Ethereum. But I saw that some people were trading CryptoPunks, and it started to be a considerable amount of money, which at the time it was a lot of money. Right now it would be nothing. I think they were trading CryptoPunks for like, I don't know, $15,000, which is very, very cheap. But at the time, people were freaking out. Why are people paying so much for these JPEGs? And so that got me curious. Whenever there's this dissonance between the public and something that is happening, it makes me curious. That's definitely something to investigate. So I looked into it, and I thought it was kind of cool, but it didn't really apply to me. So I thought maybe I can try to apply it to what I do, because I was out of a job because I was making live music. That was my business. I didn't do anything else. So since the pandemic, I wasn't allowed to play live anymore. So I had a lot of time on my hands, and so I started to create music NFTs. And at the time, it was not really a thing. When I was talking about collectible music or music NFTs, a lot of people were confused. Like, what is it? How can you collect music? For some reason, it sounded like a weird idea at the time to a lot of people. So it was a little bit difficult, but I felt like I was at the beginning of something really big for the first time in my life, like a new internet. And so I had to go really full on. I jumped in with both feet, and I just did that every day, every single day. Since I minted my first NFT in March 21st of 2021. And I created a collection of 100 saxophone pieces. I released one every day, and I got a bunch of artists also involved to do the cover arts. And yeah, that showed me that there was some promise. I wasn't really making any money the first 6 months. I was just doing it basically as a passion project. But as I said, I had all the time in the world because I didn't have anything else to do. So yeah, I did that, and in the meantime, I was working with a friend on a music NFT platform, because I realized there was none. And so I thought, well, here's another thing I could be the first in. And and then that music NFT platform actually turned into a music NFT agency, because but at the time we realized, like, the marketplace was not really something that we could build just two people. And so we switched to an agency model when I had my big drop, Nifty Sax Spheres, which sold out very fast. It was one of the first music NFT that had a blind mint and collectability with a rarity structure and everything, and with my own custom contract. And so when that went really well, I decided to try to show it to other musicians, because I knew that the biggest thing was onboarding new musicians. It didn't make sense for me to just be successful by myself if more people were not coming in. So together with my co-founder Robin, we yeah we started to do just that with Nifty Music. We created big collections with artists that wanted to come in and they wanted to create NFTs, but they didn't know how to do it. So we had gained a lot of expertise in the past year, and we knew how to package a project, basically, to make it palatable to collectors, because just releasing something as an NFT doesn't mean that you're going to sell it. You have to put it in a way that is attractive, and it's just like packaging a product, and like in Web 2, they just have to make it interesting and appealing. Otherwise, people just walk by and they don't get it. So that's what we did. We created the Moonshot with Violetta Zironi, which was a massive success. Then with Love Letters with Josh Savage, and Ray Isla's Rocks with Ray Isla. And then the latest project is the Floor Drops that Fifi was the first artist to test. But anyway, Fifi came in before all of that. So let's go
Okay.
to your
So
side.
I think that's really good, because what he has given is a brief timeline. So I will peg my history to his timeline. So you know, like around when. And then today I just realized that we actually minted our first NFTs around the same time. Is March 2021. The difference is that he was doing it properly. I just minted and I left it there because I didn't know anything. I didn't come to the community or anything. So my background is that I during the pandemic, because my first degree is in economics, so I have like this interest, like a kind of like a born interest in looking at the economy. So during pandemic, I started to see what's going on. Like this is like a knock-on effect of the whole economy is going into a certain place. So I got interested in crypto. So I was doing the crypto. I bought some altcoins in 2020, and one of the coins that like a 30x, and then that really got my attention because now I have some liquidity to play around, and I got addicted, as I mentioned earlier. And during following all these like big YouTubers and talking, like doing charts and stuff, you can't avoid knowing about NFT. So once I got my head into this NFT everybody's talking about, I was like determined to come into NFT, but I didn't know how. So I minted my NFT and I got my assistant to do a bunch of research of articles and all that. So I followed a bunch of people, but I didn't really enter NFT until I got into the spaces on Twitter and then meeting and connecting with other people. And NIFTY SAX was one of the first music NFT people that I got connected to. And now I can pack to the whole onboarding thing he was talking about, because in 2021, the most important thing was onboarding, because we had to connect with other musicians to form a community. Because what I noticed when I arrived at Twitter, I realized I meet musicians all the time, but everybody thought they were the only people existed in the field, but that's not true. So what I did essentially was like I was going around spaces and then telling people, hey, you're a musician, come to our spaces, and we're gonna do this thing. So by the time we did started in September 2021, we started to do this music NFT mastermind. So I actually just went there to learn, because I asked him a whole bunch of questions and he was telling me, I was like, why are you telling me? Like, this is a waste of your breath, right? Just telling me, like, let's do a space. And actually he suggested that we're going to do a space. So we've been doing space for 1.5 years and we're still doing it. So tomorrow's review party for my latest drop is our regular NFT music kind of like educational space. It's just we have like an event going on. That's the review party. But usually, yeah, we started to onboard people around that time. But things have evolved through 2022 and 23. And right now, in this year, during the bear market, we realized sustainability is the key word. Really, is what we focus on with the new model. And did I? I think that's probably the brief history. I've been in the space for quite a while. In NFT timeline, I would say, it's kind of, I'm a grandma, according to the, the up and downs. But I didn't do a big project during the onboarding phases. I was here to learn mainly. And NIFTY SAX has a very strategic mind, that he is really good at planning things. So when he was saying, packaging stuff, it's not just packaging, it's really diving deep into the mechanism of NFT and understanding the the capability, like how far can you take the gamification? How do you go into the psychology of a collector or a group of collector? So with experience and knowledge, and then his inclination of like designing a whole game, that's why he's kind of like the leading force in the music NFT space, I would say. So fast forward to now, I feel like this project is the first one I'm launching properly with my Web3 career. Before, I was just kind of like in two worlds, because I already have a career in Web2. And during the time I came into NFT, I was doing a really big crowdfunding campaign in Web2. And I managed to bring in the two worlds of people, Web2 and Web3 supporters, and also the perks. So I was giving away NFTs, different rarities of NFTs to bundle them up with my different tiers of pledges. And that way I onboarded a lot of my fans as well. So I was kind of like busy with that. And then now here we are, we are on the floor drop. If you're interested, we can talk more about floor drop.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's interesting though. If you are a grandma, then Milo Nifty Sax must be like Father Time because when you take a look at where it was in 2020 and where it is now, you kind of spoke about the singular voices where everyone thought that they were very unique. I can tell you that the space still views, if they even are aware, music NFTs as the next big thing. Most of the time, and a lot of people that I speak to, they don't even understand it. You spoke to NFTs in general. Now they're saying, okay, I get NFTs, but it's images, right? It's just this image, and then now you have like NFT utilities and so on and so forth, and the complexity starts to add up. But music, getting into music, it's that next thing, and it's interesting to see this. It's interesting because now you have a group that is now screaming, and you guys are screaming this. People are starting to hear it. So, I love it. I love it. Bronze, any thoughts on any of that?
Um, yeah, I mean, wonderful story. I really want to get to dive in, with the floor drops because, like John said, it's NFT music is the next big thing. I've been doing NFT gaming. I'm thinking, that is also another big thing. Um, is I know a little bit of Audible, partnered up with TikTok. It is big because music. I mean, there's so many music lovers. I know we were talking about emotions earlier about crypto, but music hits those emotional notes within us, right? There's scientific where it changes the body chemistry. It changes your mood. When people go to work, they listen to music and they have that upbeat. So I'm very interested in knowing more, and because I'm like the main consumer, right? I use Spotify, I use Apple Music. I have this. I subscribe to XM Radio, so everywhere I go, I have my YouTube on my phone. That's I pay the premium, so I can just look up. Yeah, I'm listening to music all the time, and so I want to know like how if I buy an NFT, like your NFT, how do I play it? There's some NFTs I hear, some music NFTs. If you own a part of it, like I heard Rihanna, like you can buy Rihanna's music, you're part owner, and you get some residual income. I mean, I'm wondering if you guys have any of those mechanics or things like that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
no, I think. Oh, sorry, no,
no, I'm
please.
done. Yeah.
Yeah, that what you said. I wanted to piggyback on that because I think like right now it's still so early, as you said, for music NFTs,
Mhm.
and we don't even most people don't understand the like the impact that this is going to have. Because, for example, sometimes I listen to music that I was listening to when I was a teenager, and it really brings me back. And the idea of like owning a piece of it, it's just it would be incredible. It's like I have this piece, like I can always go back and like it's something that it's part of my history, and it's an asset that I actually have, and I can pass it down to my children, or maybe I can sell it. If so, I think that the impact of music NFTs will really resonate like 15 years from now. And it's very it's I think it's going to be very powerful, and it has a lot of potential also in the short term to bring a lot of people in, because maybe not everyone buys art in their regular day-to-day life, but as you said, a lot of people like yourself are listening to music every single day. It's something that everyone does. So it has a lot of potential. And in general, we don't really we don't really add Web 2 royalties to our Web 3 NFTs, because it's usually so small, the percentage. Like, I know it sounds cool, but it's a little bit gimmicky, to be honest. Like the idea of owning like a percent of something, that maybe will make some money on Spotify, because the Web2 system really doesn't work to generate income for artists. It has never worked. Let's say it's an experiment that has kind of failed. Most artists make money with merch, with touring, and whatever other else thing they do. So streaming is not something that we rely on. So actually, we believe that music should be free to listen. You know, everyone should be able to access our music. That's how we think about it, for free. But then if you want to own a piece of it, then you can buy it at a price that we consider fair. So it's in this case, it's a fair exchange. I give you my music for free, and out of billions of people maybe that potentially listen to it for free, maybe someone will want to support it, and they will support it at the price that we set and not Spotify or other people set. So that's why we don't add those kind of utilities. We add a lot of other stuff. Maybe with some of our NFTs, with Nifty Music, also we add access to the artist, for example, which is something that can be done also in Web 2. Like you can do it on Bandcamp, you can do it on Patreon. But we add it, of course, because we think that is cool. People appreciate that. But in general, the utilities that we offer are more are based around the NFT itself, and not other stuff that happens with the music in Web 2. Just because also in terms of money, it would be such little money to split a percentage of the revenue among like 1,000 people. It's really more of a gimmick than anything else. That's the way we see it, at least.
Just a tiny point to add on the Rihanna example. It makes total sense for her because there's one Rihanna, one Drake, one Beyonce, but we're talking about millions, like tens of millions of other artists. How do they make an income? I mean, what kind of utilities would make sense for them to offer? Right. So I think it works for superstar if they do offer a piece of the royalty. I think that's very attractive, but it doesn't really work for 99.9% of other people. And because the income from the royalty is so small, if you're just looking at the mechanism of NFT itself, it actually gives you much more rewards. For example, the floor drop, we sell a minimum, it's a wholesale model of 5, and already like several people from already recoup their money by selling several out of the 5, and they get their 1 or 2 NFT for free. For example, right? That is in itself already a great way to get incentivized. And another thing I really want to touch upon is just to give an overview on the music community. Why is it so niche? Because Texan Well and yourself, like you mentioned, why most people don't understand it, or they, it remains so small. It's actually a good thing because most people come to NFT for the money. Because it's a fun NFT is a token, right? It's just a non-fungible token. It's a part of the crypto ecosystem. So most people come here to flip, and they don't have really a lot of emotional attachment to the community. Mostly, like money is the most incentive. That's why I come here, right? But with music, that is very interesting. Firstly, of course, it's harder to understand. It has different layers of the rights. Some people don't understand, if I get a music NFT, do I own some of the rights? That's one of the biggest questions. But then underneath all this is that I choose people to get my NFTs, and we all do the same, is that people like me. People like my vibe, people like my music first. So not only you understand NFT, I actually select the people who like the music as well. And then that takes time. That takes one person at a time. And compared to a Web2 kind of a fan building, it's the same process, because PFP is a smaller ask than music. Because for you to listen to my music, you need to go somewhere, listen, take time or whatever. That is a longer, especially with current people's attention span, is a bigger ask for people to actually get into the zone to listen to someone's music. So the community building part is slower but stronger, because artists, we like, this is our life. We don't really do this and then earn a bunch of money and leave. No, we make art we make music for the music's sake. So it's a smaller slower growing, but definitely a stronger community. That's the main difference between the visual and then the music NFTs. And also when it comes to utility side, you mentioned, I actually come from the very, the independent artist type of background before NFT, before Web3. That means the utility was my game. It just, the utility is the Web3 name. We used to call it benefits, or we call it perks, or exclusivity, right? So basically, we are looking at this NF people who collect my NFTs as a VIP club. Basically, it's a Patreon type of model, and I have every what's that, like an exclusive access that I can offer. For example, I can write a song with you. I can write a song for you. I can do a private concert. I can have a Zoom and a private kind of like catch up, or there's just so many things, because an artist would make a lot of songs, and some are behind the scene demos and all that kind of stuff. So independent artists tend to offer something like that, accessibility, and also our art. Or some people coach how to run a career, or how to do stuff. So there's so many things you can attach to with the NFT.
Yeah, it can be ongoing. That's the beautiful thing about it. Like,
yeah.
you can keep adding utility to your NFTs. Like, if you want to say, hey, the people that hold these certain tokens now are gonna get this. So there's gonna be a snapshot in 2 weeks time and whatever. So if you don't want this, you can sell it to someone else who does. But if you do, that's great. You hold the token, and it's all certified on the blockchain. So it makes this kind of stuff very easy. And so, as we said, you can do most of these things on Patreon as well. It's just that the blockchain allows for things to be trustless, to be more secure, general, and just smoother. Like right now, the user experience is still in the early days, but it eventually is going to be so much better than Web2, because of the blockchain, because of all the things that we can do and we can add to the tokens. And like, there's so many things that we can think of. Even like right now, maybe we're not even imagining things that are possible, but when you have these addresses on the blockchain, you can really start to deliver things maybe 2 years from now, and you decide that you want to add all kinds of other utilities. Maybe you want to drop some tokens. Maybe you're going to have your own artist token, and you want to airdrop it to your current holders. Like, the options are limitless, and that's why it's so exciting for us as artists, because we can also, especially if you have a bit of an entrepreneurial spirit, you can really go wild with what you want to offer to your community. And even with a small community, you can actually make a living, which is also beautiful.
Yeah, you can see it as a one layer of your income stream. So as like, if you look at an artist's career and just overall Web3 and Web2, you can think of a crowdfunding campaign as the main pillar, selling your merchandise, right? Like selling your music, and then you have subscription model, and then now you have the Web3 NFT, using NFT crowdfund to build your Web3 crowd. That is one very, very major and important income stream now, if you choose to maintain your Web2 career. However, a lot of artists are starting off from Web3. That works too. So I guess our function is to tell people different perspective.
Yeah.
And helping people, helping other artists to build their career, and how to navigate between cross Web2 to Web3, this bridge.
Yeah, sorry, we get excited. We talk about 10 minutes about
Well, no, and listen, we get it, right? Because this is where your passion is, and how could you not get excited about it? I think though overall you really set the tone for the future of it, and you do have the reveal tomorrow. I don't want to talk too much about what the rarities are specifically, but maybe we could touch a little bit on how you thought about the rarities, without kind of, giving us too much, because with the reveal coming within less than 24 hours, or actually, I think it may be,
about 23 hours. The reveal is happening. So I can talk a little bit about the dynamics of the floor drops. So this was it was basically trying to solve some problems that we had last year. We did these big drops where we generated hundreds of ETH, for both the artist and the community. But it came at great cost also, like in terms of time investment from the artist, and a bunch of other things. So trying to solve these issues, we thought about a dynamic where basically the artist wouldn't have to find like 1,000 people to sell their NFTs. They wouldn't have to go door to door to sell each single NFT. And so the first thing we said, okay, we're gonna have a pack of NFTs. You have to buy a minimum of 5. So it's a wholesale models, and then the collectors become the retailers. So then they can sell at a slightly higher price, but we don't have to necessarily tell the artist, hey, you have to keep pumping this project and take the floor 10x and then 100x and this and that, because we started at such a low price. Every NFT is 0.01 ETH. That's very affordable these days. That's $15. Most people that want to support an artist can spend that much. And so we decided to have a small supply of these NFTs, so they would maintain their value. And ideally, people that buy one at 0.01, maybe they can sell one at 0.015 or 0.02, like it's been happening already for some people. That there already been some people that basically now have a free NFT because they bought 5, they spent 0.05, but they made already maybe 0.06 by selling 4. So they have basically a free NFT. And we like that. It's just a little bit more sustainable. And this is a model for singles. So you release just a single. So at the end of the year, maybe you had maybe 4 or 5 singles. You can release the whole album, give it away for free to people that supported you throughout the whole way, and then maybe onboard new collectors that want the whole album. So and the rarity structure is built like this. So floor drops is the name. It's a name that means a few things. So it literally means that the artist drops their floor price to 0.01, which is very attractive for some artists because maybe their floor price is 0.2 maybe or 0.3. Some artists have really, really expensive pieces, and there's nothing available that is cheaper than that. So this is a way for everyone to jump in, and the people that are really close to the artist, they can finally get some pieces of the artist's music. And then it's also called floor drops because the art is literally a vinyl on the floor, and there are many different rooms, many different layers of rarity, and then Easter eggs and little things like that we take care of. So the rarity structure is something that we take a lot of pride in, because in our drops, that's what people really came to appreciate about our drops, that they're very well structured and very, very tradable. There's a lot of gamification in the trading of the different trades. And so that is all built into the floor drops and developed by Nifty Music. The artist doesn't really have to think too much about it, except what to attach to each rarity layer. For example, I can say already there's because we have shown this, there's a floor that is like in a bank vault with a bunch of gold bricks and gold bars. So that is a pretty rare one, and the artist can choose to attach any kind of utility to that one. Then there's also a version that has a bunch of diamonds sprinkled around the vinyl. Then there's many others that I won't go into because we didn't share them yet. But yeah, there are several layers, and so now on many secondary marketplaces, you can actually see the rarity structure. You get a little number. For example, on OpenSea, you know exactly how rare the piece is. So now, after reveal, people can actually go and hunt down the pieces that they want. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's a general introduction.
No. Yeah, no, and I think that you got to have those rarities, right? It gives it that value.
Yeah.
When you talked about earlier, Fifi, about releasing your initial one, you're just kind of releasing it, right? And it was just trying to get it out there. I feel like having that rarity structure is important for the NFT space. I think you guys are definitely doing it right. Now, the reveal is tomorrow. It's you say it's within 23 hours.
Yeah.
Where are you guys doing that? Is that on Twitter or?
Yeah, it's on a Twitter space that we have. I think it's pinned to Fifi's profile. The pinned tweet has the link to the Twitter space. So yeah, we will hang out for about an hour. The space starts at 11 a.m. Eastern time, and then at 12 we will start the reveal. So everyone can go and refresh their metadata, and they will see what they got, which is also something that is so exciting. Myself included, when I buy an NFT, I'm always, I don't know, I love unwrapping things. I love it, and
He
it feels
does.
like
Yeah.
it feels like Christmas every time. And now everybody's a whale because they have at least 5 NFTs and they get to see, oh, let's see if I got a rare one. It's just, it's so exciting. There's something
Yeah.
to it. It's much better than just buying something and knowing exactly what you get. That this just,
Hmm.
it's a very human emotion, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
something that it's good to have. I really like that all the time.
I like
Yeah,
instant
yeah.
gratification.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No,
Instantly.
absolutely. Yeah, and I can tell you, I picked up more than just a few of these, and we're actually going to be giving one away here at the
Oh,
end.
nice.
Oh,
So just to entice folks to come on in, and of course also to join the reveal tomorrow. But I do see it on your Twitter account here, Fifi. It looks like you have it right at the top, pinned up there
Right.
to set a reminder for Twitter Spaces.
yeah.
Looks like you also have you have your own Discord. Is that your own personal Discord? What is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Nifty Music Discord, and Fifi has her own channel. So every artist has
Yeah.
their own VIP channel, basically, where if you
Mm.
hold the token, you can
Yeah.
participate.
It's token gated.
Yeah,
Yeah. Community. It's like once a collector, as my collectors can use their wallet to connect to the token gated place, and also the secondary market is there too. In my bio.
right.
Yeah,
So for people
yeah,
to before the review, they can still get something from the floor price, which is 0.0166
Yeah, no,
right now.
I'm so excited for people to see these artworks. They're all each NFT is unique, and we worked so hard
Yeah,
on these. They look really realistic.
yeah,
Some of them are just really
yeah.
cool.
yeah, yeah.
777 on this single. The song is called Other Side, and all of them are different.
Yeah,
So
this one, for
yeah,
example, has a magazine that actually
yeah,
that is a real article from a Web3 magazine. So now you probably can't zoom in, but if you
yeah,
if you were to zoom in, you would actually
yeah,
read the article, and it's
yeah.
yeah, and
So
this kind of little Easter eggs. We have
yeah.
quite a few of those.
Some people
Wow.
don't believe it's like, what? This is not a photo. They thought this is a photo, like a staged, like a
Yeah,
photo.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
wow.
I was actually just trying to zoom in. I think I probably have to do a little bit of downloading it and doing it, but they look gorgeous. They absolutely look gorgeous from the limited ones that we've seen. Of course, we encourage everyone that's listening to go check it out. They actually, you can go over to OpenSea right now. If you haven't gotten one, if you haven't received, because they are sold out. 777 were sold last Sunday. How quickly was that? Was that 3 hours, 4 hours?
So one
How
hour and a
quickly?
half.
One and a
Yeah,
half hours.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
With some
Amazing.
spiking gas situation that is not our fault.
Yeah.
During that time, the gas was going crazy. But we if that wasn't the case, we predicted that it would be sold out during the pre-sale hour.
Yeah, there was 1 hour of pre-sale. That's how floor drops work because we
Mm,
keep it really short because we believe that yeah, when the artist has enough support from the community, when they have at least 100 signups, then
mm,
we do a floor drop. So
yeah.
theoretically, the people on the whitelist have a chance to mint the whole supply if they want.
Mm,
And then if they don't, then of course after that, after 1 hour, it goes into public sale, and then
mm,
everyone can participate. And there is no max mint, so it's also a way for people to support an artist. Maybe they want to say, hey, I want to own all of them, and they can buy the whole supply, and then they can be the biggest whale of that particular single, which is
mm,
also could be a strategy for someone. Say, I want to own all
mm,
the pieces of this particular
mm.
release because I really think it's a great song. So we
Yeah.
give that option, and we
Yeah.
like it.
I think
Yeah.
realistically, if I was the whale Tax no whale. If you are the whale, you are the real whale. Observing the first and second drop and see how it went. And if it went really well, they say, oh, next time I'm gonna get a whole
Yeah.
supply, because this was the first time. So everyone is taking a little bit of a risk and also
Yeah.
wary about how this is gonna go down. So that's why it was distributed very beautifully, very evenly. Maybe 4 or 5 packs that was like on the upper range, and most people are getting just 1 pack of 5. And for me, 777, I have 250 signups.
Yeah, and there's 125 holders or something
Yeah,
like that. So right now it's a pretty good
so it's
distribution.
200% of demand, and let's say the supply is 100%. Then the sign up, the demand was just double that.
Yeah.
So we make sure that this was in demand.
Yeah, no, and it certainly was, and I can tell you that for me, it went very smoothly. Had zero issues getting
Right.
what I wanted, and we look forward to we look forward to not only tomorrow, but what you guys have to bring in the future. So, Bronze, anything from your end? Any additional questions or things you want to focus in on?
We kind of started off on a sad note, right? And man, we're finishing it off in a happy note. I am so excited for this. Like when you guys are talking, and I understand better about the model, and man, the model, like what you're saying about with Patreon, there's a limit, right? And then now with the NFT, it's kind of like it's like an iteration of that, and the sky's the limit because you can do so much with that, with all the holders. I was just thinking when you were talking, like say, if I'm a holder, I can get an exclusive concert in the metaverse, maybe. Because I remember like my son was playing Fortnite and there was a concert of Travis Scott in the game. I mean, it was wild. So it's the sky is the limit, and you guys make a great team. I mean, you guys are music enthusiasts, but you guys really got like the tech business model down, and man, it's great. There was so much. I'm forgetting things what to say, but man, but I'm really excited, and like this is like you said, we're really early. I'm older, and I've seen the beginning of the internet, and with the beginning and how MP3s evolved, and I'm getting those flashbacks. I'm getting that feeling again, and you guys keep on doing it, and because the sky's the limit, man. There's so much potential on how to utilize the NFT music.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely. No,
Love it.
yeah, I agree 100%. I feel like there is so much potential for everything that you guys are doing for the community and the industry overall. We definitely look forward to it. Got to check it out. Check out their Twitter Spaces. Ron, if we could just pull that up one more time there. At FIFI Wrong and at Nifty Sax. Definitely check out their profiles. Tomorrow, what is it now? 22 hours, 50 minutes from now. There will be the reveal. We do have a giveaway here. It was based on anyone that had commented on the initial tweet that I had put out yesterday regarding this space. And it looks like Ace of Music NFT, you have just won. In fact, we've been communicating a little bit here during this podcast. So they are already aware. So Ace, we'll go ahead and get that information over to you. Basically, just need your wallet and shoot it right over to you. But excited for that.
That's amazing because I know like he really wants this NFT, but where he is from his country, he's not able to get it. So I'm so happy that he got this one. I'm so happy. Like
awesome, congrats.
Quarter, but couldn't get it. So congrats, big congrats. Yeah, I was gonna suggest that I can match something. I minted.
No, guys. No, really, no. We appreciate that for sure, but we kind of had that planned out. I agree. Maybe we should have talked offline about it, but happy to do it. Ace of Music, definitely congratulations to you, Nifty Sax, and Fifi. Thank you for coming out today. We certainly appreciate it. Check out their reveal tomorrow. Check out their profiles. Great things to come. Again, thanks everyone also for tuning in, whether it's live or if you're listening to this today, tomorrow, the day after. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Take care now.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
so
us.
much.
Bye.
Bye.